This is a spicy little topic and it might make you laugh or cry. Obviously, Steve, we've seen this horrific shooting in Buffalo, which I've been covering. Obviously, the focus on Tucker Carlson and other Republicans, not even just embracing, but full on pushing conspiracy nonsense like the replacement theory, which, unlike Glenn Greenwald, who apparently has become Tucker Carlson's golf caddy, I will say Tucker Carlson has been pushing this for years. He has clearly been pushing white people are being replaced. Anyone with a brain knows he's not talking about just every American is being replaced. When Tucker Carlson mentions legacy Americans, he's not talking about Mexicans. But the Democratic Party's reaction is interesting to this. Sure, Chuck E. Cheese Schumer wrote a letter to Fox News, stop pushing this out, yada, yada, yada. Of course, Fox News isn't going to do a damn thing. Tucker Carlson is their money-making machine, just like Bill O'Reilly was. But this clip on MSNBC from MSNBC's branding expert, Donnie Deutsch, let's take a listen how he thinks, because the Democratic Party, they all watch Morning Joe and kind of like are one and the same. He thinks is a good strategy to defeat Republican extremism.
All right, so Donnie, so let's talk first of all. This isn't a branding issue. This is a really serious issue, and it's important that people, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, independents alike, whether it's Liz Cheney or other people who are deeply offended by what's happening with this great replacement theory, the question is, what is the best way to push back on this hatred? What's the best way to push back on this conspiracy theory that's based on a Jewish international banker? It is so anti-Semitic. And of course, they've slotted George Soros in there, trying to make the country like browner and blacker. What's the best way for people to push back on that lie?
You take this heinous platform and you make the Republicans own it. I want to say it again, make the Republicans own it. Every Republican politician, every Republican candidate, ask them about it. Make them, because they can't run from it because it's part of who they are at this point, as disgusting as that is. But make it the Republican replacement theory. Mainstream it, because this is the way. You have to scare. We don't have the economy on our side as Democrats, so you have to scare the bejesus out of people. The way to scare it is say, this replacement theory, this is not just coming from some dark corner of the web. This is the Republican platform. Make them own it. And if Democrats run from this fistfight, I know in the previous segment, Eugene Daniels, you talked about the president not wanting to call out names. Call out Tucker Carlson. Call out the politicians and make them own it. This is a Republican platform.
Steve, you're a Rust Belt voter there. Republican extremists, pushing you're being replaced, this and that. Is the winning recipe just to outscare, swing voters or moderate voters or even some Republicans that, hey, let's scare them that you're being taken down a really, really gross, evil, fascistic tunnel there. We just need to outscare them.
No, in fact, this goes back to what I said earlier about the way the Republicans are actually branding their candidates in their own political ads. They're owning this. They're not running from it. They're embracing it. They are flat out. It's like naked bigotry all the way. They are literally dog whistling every single truck driver, every single guy with a flag on his F-150 truck and his gun rack in the back and these colors don't run kind of thing. Every one of these coal rollers is listening to that and hearing and saying, "You're goddamn right. There's a great replacement theory. My own eyes see it. I know this to be true." And they're not gonna let them own it. They'll own it. They won't even care. They're running on it. So I think it's kind of hilarious, but I also found it interesting. He talked about us Democrats. Like, that's a pretty bold step right there. That what was that? CNBC?
That was MSNBC.
MSNBC. We Democrats. So like, they're not even hiding that the MSNBC is actually just the Democratic, outpost, so to speak. But more importantly, over his shoulder was brother Bill Clinton. I was watching. It was just like, these are the same neoliberal third way Democrats trying to act like they're the friend of the people, but they're just as bad in their own sick situation here. I don't think any of it matters. I think Republicans know exactly what they are. They're afraid of black and brown and gay people and trans people because they want to be the ones. They want to be the great white hope. They want things to be the way they've always been. They're scared of change. And so owning it isn't going to offend them at all. That's what they are. They agree with it. They have no shame. It's not going to in any way, shape, or form cause them any shame or anything whatsoever. They're going to own it and love it.
Well, also, besides it being absurd, and you're not going to outscare the preeminent scarecrow, which is the Republican Party, when he says we don't have the economy on our side, why do you think that is, Donnie? Why do you think that is, Joe and Mika? Maybe because your president unilaterally moonwalked away from a $15 minimum wage, which at this point, I mean, with inflation, I don't even know if a $15 minute would be better than what we have now, but not nearly sufficient. Moonwalked away from, $2,000 checks, moonwalked away from a public option. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So the economy is not on your side. There's a lot of factors outside of Biden's control, but there's a lot of factors within his control, including the fact that he rolled up like a little scarecrow and, in fetal position and let Joe Manchin tank his presidency when he could have used the bully pulpit of the presidency like a Lyndon B. Johnson did to demand BBB pass. And we've talked about that before. Hey, Joe, your daughter, she got away with this price gouging of insulin. Could have our Department of Justice look into that. So he doesn't seem to want to address why the economy is not in our favor.
No. And it's really sad because if you've heard Joe Biden try to get in the bully pulpit, he can't talk anymore, literally. So there is no pulpit for him to speak from. He would need a proxy to do that stuff because he literally, his gaffes are more than they've ever been. It's to the point where it's painful to watch him speak. And so he has no ability to sell any ideas at all at this point. And the ideas that he is selling, he is not a progressive, folks. He's not the most progressive president since FDR. He is not in any way, shape, or form. This guy is a Wall Street guy. He's always been the senator from MBNA. I mean, this is a guy that, a congressman or senator or whatever the hell he is, vice president, president. He has always been from, MBNA Delaware. I mean, he is not in any way, shape, or form trying to do anything other than serve Wall Street. And it's a shame. But he's not good, and the Democrats are not good. And the Democrats have taken a decidedly pro Wall Street approach to literally everything since Bill Clinton. And it shows no signs whatsoever of stopping.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.